I know my regulars are going to tire of my constant invocation of the Barack Obama campaign as the prime example of good direct marketing. But how can I skip it? A half a billion raised. People participating in grassroots politics that had never done it before and likely never will again. This is a great example of capturing the mind and convincing people to take action, making compelling offers, and that is the core of good marketing. I'm going to dissect the email, talk about a good direct email, a good newsletter, and a good offer, and then I'm going to talk about a good product page because this is a good example. First, the from address is real. It's not a fake address. It's not going to bounce to a no reply address. I hate those. There's a couple of reasons to put a real address in the from section of your email template. Number one, it lets you know when the sending mail is bogus. Now, often your email server will get that kind of information and your systems administrator can filter it out for you. That's all great, but I think the marketing people need feedback as well. And unless you have a massive, massive list, chances are the best way to handle this is often manually. Number two, the to address is me. It's me and me alone. I know this sounds almost silly if you've done any direct marketing, but I can't tell you how often I get email from people who actually pasted my email address in the carbon copy. By the way, bad etiquette. Don't do that. Do not include me on an email with 50, 75, or 100 other people. Just don't do it. But number two, blind carbon copy. You increase the chances that an anti-spam tool is going to stop that email or stick it into the spam folder 100-fold. Just don't do it. Get with a system where it sends it to each person individually, where it actually generates a direct email to each person. Every newsletter and every direct mailing tool will do that. Now, number three, let's talk about the design of the email. I can't tell you how often people talk to me about designing their direct marketing email, and they talk about pictures and beautiful design and layout and color and blah, blah, blah. This is a really good example of good design. Simple HTML layout. Pay attention to the text. The text is the most important part because that's the likely part to get through. And limited images. Let's count the images real quick. The header, the logo. Number two, the offer picture, which is going to compel us to take action. And then down here on the bottom, we have a donate button. 3 images. That's it. Now, what happens if my email program or my corporate firewall were to block these images? Well, in this offer, because they don't rely on that to give the message of the email, it's no big deal. The text remains, the offer is still just as valid, and if I have an email reader that reads the HTML, I just click on the link. No big deal. The offer is pretty much still the same. They pay attention to the content, the text itself, and the image is a nice added feature. It helps to compel me, but it's not necessary to compel me. The other thing I want to show you, the number 4 factor, is that in the content we have a link that is a simple URL. Now, that may not mean anything to you, but you'll notice we have a donate.barackobama.com/victory shirt. Instead of a ampersand, question mark, backslash, slash, slash, that stuff, when it gets really drawn out, protracted, and the link is embedded in an HTML link, that's a virtual guarantee that certain email programs and certain email providers are going to block it. Now to show you the example. So here's a screenshot of an email I sent to a friend of mine, and it bounces from GoDaddy. That just happens to be the provider in this case, because it says it has prohibited or spam content. Now, I tell you, I know what the situation is. This is very simple. In this email, I had a bunch of links to a lot of my URLs, my web addresses, and they just didn't like the fact that I had 10 or 15 complex links. A lot of providers block. Now, this particular provider blocks aggressively because they have a lot of complaints about spam, but a lot of people block for that very reason. Now, I like this offer. We're down to just a handful of paragraphs. It's a compelling offer. So what happens when I click on this to take action, to donate now? It takes me directly to an offer page, and I love this offer page. We have the same picture we had in the email. We have our compelling text offer. We have a really cool picture of the front and the back of the t-shirt. And notice I didn't have to mouse over that. There's no pop-up I need to click on or to see a bigger picture. A nice comfortably sized picture of the front and the back of the t-shirt. And then on the same page, now I wouldn't necessarily do this, but I don't mind this. On the same page we have a place where we can just fill out the form, put in the necessary information, our card number, and boom, come down here and click on submit, and we've contributed the money and the transaction is complete. I probably wouldn't put the information to submit the actual purchase page would be separate. I'd have a product offering page, I'd have the donate now, and it'd take you through the process of filling out your contributor information and your credit card numbers. But that's just me. It's a matter of taste. I think both would be highly effective. And there you go. You have a great example of an excellent direct marketing campaign.